Welcome back to Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Merideth. I'm Jennifer.
I'm your girl Merideth, yes, and thank you so much. That promo for Rick TRC was just coincidental, I promise, because Jen looked at me and I was like, no, because, our carts are promo and PSA. We don't get to, the luxury of knowing what all it is all the time. So it's just, again, he's everywhere. So that's what happens when you're the hardest working man in Conroe. Hey-o! Yeah. And that voice, watch out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, lover boy. How are you?
No, it's too dang early.
I know. Well, what cracks me up is I've had a chance, of course, to get to know Rick over the months because I was working, certainly right after him on Monday nights when I first started here. So he is hilarious, and he also has some grit. So he comes in this morning, and he's been a guest before, so he's been, certainly Jen knows him, but he came in guns a-blazing. He was like, why are you getting me up this early? It was just so...
It's beautiful out with all the fog. Man, it was low light, and you could sleep in, and I didn't get to.
I know. Well, no. And he's making it much nicer than what he said earlier.
But you brought me coffee. I'm cool with that.
Well, good. I'm glad you're a coffee lover because, frankly, I don't know what to do with non-coffee drinkers. I'm always like, I could bring coffee. Everything else is kind of foreign to me, so I don't know what to tell you there. But welcome.
We've got water in the refrigerator.
Oh, see? Look, he knows it all. He knows it all. Yeah, so listeners, he is no stranger to the airwaves, no stranger to the community, Mr. Rick TRC, one of the favorites in Lone Star Community Radio. He's on Afternoons with Lone Star, but I wanted you to come in because you actually, and Jen and I were going to have you scheduled to come in the weekend that Harvey hit. Right. So that Friday before, Rick, he's on it because he's on Monday through Friday. So he had a leg up on all the weather and stuff. And he gave me a heads up saying, hey, I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. So I don't know if we really should plan on it. And that's when I reached out to Hefe, and Hefe said, yeah, we may want to play it safe. So thank you, Hefe and Rick, for, safety first for the team, right?
That's right. So
you were scheduled to come on weeks ago. And I say that because you were going to give us, up and coming before your new show launched. So so you didn't wait for us.
No, I didn't.
He was like, no, I'm not going to wait. But yeah, tell our listeners something new that you were bringing to the Lone Star team.
We have basically Lone Star Community Radio has a Lone Star Radio Troupe, spelled Troupe. Got to do that one. What we do is we take local playwrights and old-time radio, and we put them on the radio. We perform them. And last week, actually, we did a live version right here in the studio of 300 Joules of a local playwright by Sean Thompson.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's, and I love, first of all, let's just remind listeners that are, maybe of the younger nature, what ham radio is for us.
Well, it's different than ham radio.
What did I say?
Ham radio.
Oh, did I?
Old-time radio.
Old-time radio.
Well, people used to sit around because there wasn't any TV.
Right.
And they would sit in front of this little huge radio because they were transistors at that time. And it was, they would imagine what was being said and what was being done on the radio. They would have the Foley table. They would have all the sound effects. They would have everything. So their imagination would go, and kids would sit in front of it for hours. Lone Ranger, Green Hornet, Flash Gordon. There was all kinds of radio plays that turned into TV series.
Right, right.
So that's where that comes from.
And that's what inspired our top 3 listeners. If you were wondering why we did the top 3 trends or activities to kind of bring back, it's because Rick and his team with the Lone Star Radio Troupe, they are doing something. I mean, it may not be necessarily new because it's something that's been done, decades ago, but it's new to our community, and they're reviving a lost art and a talent, right?
Well, thank you. Yes,
no,
I do want to say that it's on every Sunday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Right here.
And is it live every Sunday?
No.
Okay, because
I
can imagine. Well, and that's something that people don't realize, that even us being live right now with just Jen and I and having a guest, there's a whole lot of work in the background. A whole lot of work. Okay, so we, we make it look pretty on the front end, but there's a whole lot of meat behind it. So I can only imagine something of that nature for you to be able to, pull off such a, complex because you've got a storyline, you've got sound effects and everything. So tell us how the live event went, and what was the storyline about?
The live event, it was called 300 Joules.
Yeah.
It was kind of a macabre type, excuse me, I didn't push my cough button, macabre type play where someone had passed away but came back as sort of like a demon, and it was set in the hospital setting where a doctor and some EMTs and a priest is involved, and a little frisky priest, and I without giving the story away, without everything, but it's very, very great.
Please
really
tell me
is.
you recorded it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What we do is the first of the month. Every first of the month we have a new play. Like last week we had Invictus, which is a play written by Lynn Peverall, and she's a local artist, and she did the costumes for Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, wow.
Very talented lady. And we played that one first, and then we did the live version at 7:30. And both of those are going to be replayed the other Sundays through the month.
Nice.
Then we have a new play at the very first Sunday of the month. And then those previous plays are going to be put on, podcasts so everybody can get them and listen to them and all that good stuff. So there's a lot more behind the scenes, a lot of editing, a lot of stuff that has to be done, because we have people who are wanting to do this for the next year.
Oh, wow.
I have a very cool co-executive producer, Tina Lockhart. She is a sweetheart, and she has done all kinds of things to pool all the talent that we have in this area. Unbelievable.
Collaborative effort is an understatement.
Yeah.
And I love that you're bringing not only just local talent, but also local, playwrights,
That's right.
local storylines. And
That's
it's just
right.
amazing. And again, listeners, if you're new to the region, because Conroe is the fastest growing city in the U.S.
Yes,
the
it is.
U.S. Census Bureau just said so, a few months ago. There's got to be a lot of new listeners, a lot of new people in the area, and they don't realize how awesome and how really eclectic our art and music and just general talent in the area. It just blows my mind. And I got introduced to it from you because when I joined the team here on Lone Star, you showed me, invited me to come watch it at Owen, and I was like, oh my goodness, and so I can only, and through the months, being able to, certainly be a part of the show here with Jen, we've had a chance to really get to see so many cool people, and they're all, not necessarily
Passionate.
homegrown, but they're here. Yeah.
They're very passionate about it.
So so back up now.
Okay.
How did this get all started? Because I remember you were just kind of whispering, and then all of a sudden this thing blew up, right?
Totally. Well, it all started with Tina Lockhart on Facebook. She started this little thing about a sci-fi, and everybody wanting to get involved in it and being a character, and then typing in what they want to say and what they want to do, and it kind of evolved and grew and grew and grew. And there was a little bit people wanting to go this way and people wanting to go that way, and things started having issues. So we stopped that and we said, hey, listen, why don't we just write a play? Why don't we put it out there? And I said, I've got the ability, I've got the recording, I can do that. What the heck?
Right.
And then we said to Lynn, do you want to write this? And sitting at my house, a little party, and about 15 people were sitting around and going, oh, we can do this. Invented the name, invented all of this stuff. Everybody got together, and it was a collaborative effort and a community effort.
Wow.
And then we talked to Dick, and I said, hey, man, I want to do this. Because we used to do Old Time Radio Hour every Sunday at 7.
That's right, yeah.
I wanted to bring that back, but not live fully. That is so much really, really hard.
Yes.
Doing fully hard, really. So we do all of our sound, well, not all of them, but most of our sound effects are done, electronically.
Yeah.
Post and edit.
Yeah. Well, just because I don't think listeners can really imagine, going from scene to scene and the people and the, everything, because the mics are on. You heard Rick cough, so you can imagine when somebody accidentally drops a bell, bam, so, and we are not in essence perfectionists, but we like greatness in our broadcasting.
That's right.
So that's where I could definitely relate to, because good night, Jen and I, we do hours, to dedicate for this show. So it's something that blows my mind, especially with how many people. Could you imagine 15 people? That'd be wild.
We had 15 people in here just in Valley High and two plays, Valley High and South Dakota. We had 15 people in here singing.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, singing. You gotta listen to this one. Two hilarious plays. A makeup, kind of a funny thing from Valley High and South Dakota, and it was hilarious, Absolutely. It's on our podcast.
I was going to say, so
Yep, on
irlonestar.com. And of course, if you're just tuning in, we've got Rick TRC. He happens to be, of course, a beloved talent here on Lone Star Community Radio with Afternoons with Lone Star.
Right.
But he actually just, along with his team, they just launched a new show, the Lone Star Radio Troupe. And it's not necessarily, well, it is a throwback, but it's really reviving a great art of just, playwrights, everything on, how do I call it other than, I want to call it ham radio, but it's not. How do I call it?
Old time radio.
Old time radio.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. And so it's such a beautiful, beautiful experience, especially when you hear about, these are local people.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe the talent to be able to produce your own show.
Now, if you want to audition, I don't mean to interrupt because I'm a DJ. I do that.
No.
Because if you want to audition, go over to our Facebook page, Lone Star Radio Troupe, and all of that information. The next play is coming up. If you want to write one, if you want to introduce it, by all means, because we are community radio. That's what we do. We want everybody involved.
Oh, I love that. So
that's
again, listeners, you can find out more about their team, not only to audition, but I'm sure also check out when they have their podcast ready, is on Facebook, Lone Star Radio Troupe. And again, Troupe is spelled T-R-U-P-E.
O-U.
O-U-P.
Yeah.
T-R-O.
Spell police.
Pokies?
Yeah, there you go.
No, so that is wonderful. So what are some of your favorite characters to play?
My favorite characters. Oh, my God.
Now, I'm
on
talking on
stage
air.
or
No,
on
yeah,
air?
on air, because for the old time radio.
I'm basically a producer, and I've only been in one show, and we've done quite a lot of them.
But your voice, it's like silk, brother.
I know, but
Or
I was in
velvet.
300 Jewels.
Oh.
I did that one. But I don't do too many of them because I'm behind the scenes. I do a lot of production. I do the editing. I do a lot of stuff.
So you can't also be in front.
I can.
No, I know. It's just,
can.
it adds a complexity. Like,
I've got too much going on. Oh, my God.
I told you he's the hardest working man in Conroe, man. Every day, 3 to 7, right here on Lone Star Community Radio,
That's right.
sharing some of the greatest music. Of course, being in Conroe, we have great country.
Yeah. And at Wednesday, 5 o'clock, we're highlighting 2 hours of Queen on Off the Range.
What?
Queen, 2 hours.
Okay, hold on. Expand on that, brother. Hold
Yeah.
up. You're breaking into the format, right?
That's my format. I can do what I want. It's my
No,
show.
It is. And Rick TRC, if you don't know, TRC stands for?
The Reluctant Cowboy.
Yes, this man right here. He
reluctant.
is a transplant. He came from Cali, right?
That's right.
So, you'd be surprised to learn that he actually did not love country when he first came here.
No, I didn't.
He didn't even really like it.
I hated it. I hated it.
But we've made him. No.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
No, this state, everybody I fell in love with it. I really did. Not kind of the old stuff. I don't like whiny. I didn't like whiny music in rock. I didn't like whiny music in anything.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I avoid that.
No, and I definitely can see where, because he's very uplifting. He's not like down in the dumps kind of guy. He's got a great energy to him, and so I could totally see where you'd be like, And earlier you were commenting right before we went on air about one of the songs. You're like, that's a little too slow for my taste.
Yeah,
so.
it was. I don't. Even though she's great, I do play some of her songs.
Oh,
but it's just
no.
too slow. I don't.
No,
It's got to be up. It's got to be fun.
I totally get it. Well, and that's what I think we all know, the energy matters, right? Especially when you're on the air and you're trying to really enjoy the day. And as a listener, I think you'd appreciate it too, guys, because we want to make sure you're enjoying your, drive or chill at the house. And, nothing's more fun than kind of, getting caught up in the day and enjoying a little two-stepping, a little fastness, maybe some Queen. Wow, 2
That's right,
hours.
2 hours. And my special guest DJ is Sean Thompson.
Oh, that sounds so familiar. Fill us in.
Okay, he is he's a consummate director. He directed Three Musketeers. He's directing, you were talking about local entertainment coming up on the 24th of this month at the Woodlands. We are doing the Woodlands, oh my gosh, let me get it. Romeo and Juliet with the Woodlands Orchestra. And it's to the 80s music, to the disco.
Wow.
And hold on, let me get it. I do have it. I just gotta. It is called Arts in the Park, and they present Shakespeare in the Park. And we're doing Romeo and Juliet, and I'm playing Capulet, and it's set in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm playing the Teflon Don with my hair and the whole.
Oh.
suit and everything.
When does that start again? Because
It's
that is.
one day on the 24th of this month at 7 o'clock.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
Hold
called
up.
Arts in the Park, and it is at Rob Fleming Park in Creekside Village. And doors open at 4 o'clock, or the gates open at 4 o'clock. And then the orchestra will start at dusk, and they'll start with an overture, and a lot of the local Woodlands youth orchestra are going to be playing with the huge Woodlands thing.
Oh, wow.
And it's all free, and anybody can come down and see it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, my.
A lot of fun.
Okay, so that's a one-time. And the 24th, I think that's a Sunday, if I'm
Yes,
thinking right.
Sunday at
Okay.
7 o'clock.
Wow, we're going to have to make that happen because I would love to see it. What about you, Jen?
Yes.
I see her writing it down. She's
I
like,
know.
Yeah.
she's making her notes. That's what I love about
It is,
between the two of us. We get the scoop just like you listeners because we do like to keep it fresh. We don't like it too scripted on here. So that's one of the great things with having a pro like Rick come on because frankly, I was like, Rick, want to talk about your upcoming show? Want to talk about your upcoming productions? And he's like, see you in the morning. All right. That's how you got to do it. That's how you do it with the pros and those that are familiar. You know, of course, we love having all our guests, but those that aren't on the air a lot, you know, we like to get a better idea of what they want to talk. But with Rick, you know, it's like he knows what he's doing and he's gonna fill us in. So, which
Well, and go ahead.
no, I was gonna say what we.
Oh, I was just, speaking of upcoming things that you're doing, what else do you have coming up?
What else? Oh, my gosh. I am playing Victor von Frankenstein at Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, the musical.
Eagle.
Right here right here at Crichton. And that's my very first singing role. And okay, there I hit my cough button. And it's my very first solo. I've never sang in a musical, and I've been acting since I was 16, and I do this, and I'm taking vocal lessons, and I'm singing. Oh my God, I'm singing. I'm nervous as heck, but it's gonna be great.
When does this show open?
October the 20th.
October 20th.
Yeah, and it ends November the 5th.
Okay.
And it's Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein. Oh, the cast is unbelievable.
I can only imagine.
Oh, man, there's a ton of talent here in this area. I mean, we even have people from Katy, from Humble, from Kingwood, all over the area just to come up here and be in our performances up here at either the Crichton or the Owen or the CYT, which is the Christian Youth Theater. We have the one that's doing Romeo and Juliet is Upstage Theater with Sean Thompson.
Okay,
He's the
okay.
director, and that's where I came up with that one.
Okay, cool.
And he's also Stage Works is downtown, or at 1960, Grant and 249. And there's a ton of theater around in our area. Talent like you wouldn't believe.
Wow. No,
Believe.
I'm just blown away because, no, you're right. There's so much talent. But like I said, is he not the hardest working man in Conroe? My good night.
No, there's people who are more dedicated than I am that just work their butts off. Nathan Arizati is one of them.
Oh, we'll see. And we got to get Nathan
Yeah,
on
you
here
do.
because we love, Jen and I, we, like a lot of, we call ourselves hustlers because we go, right? So I love meeting other hustlers. That sounded like we call ourselves a hustler. But
Well, we're going to be doing the hustle at Romeo and Juliet.
are you really?
Yeah, we're going to do the hustle.
Oh, because it is
Oh,
80s.
It's the 80s, yeah.
Oh, Jen, will you be my date? Let's go do it.
Well, I'll try, but that's Honey's birthday.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
So we'll have to see.
Okay, maybe we could take Honey. If no, she's gonna have special. Okay, well, I'm gonna go.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
go
There you
because
go.
I want to see it. But I understand and listen to them all. I'll take some pictures. I don't think I could take video. We'll talk off air. I'm like, I'll record it for you. But no, that is so cool.
It is.
I'm just blown away because again, want to remind our listeners that you've got Lone Star Radio Troupe. Sunday night, 7 o'clock.
Every Sunday.
Find them on Facebook, right? Lone Star Radio Troupe, Troupe. I spelled it right.
What?
Jen. And then Lone Star, or afternoons with Lone Star, Rick, TRC, 3 to 7, Monday through Friday. Then you've got, of course, Sunday the 24th, you're going to be doing the Romeo and Juliet 80s version on the Woodlands. How do we find out about that, by the way?
Oh, you can just Google Romeo and Juliet, the Woodlands, and it'll come up.
Perfect. And then,
But it's in the arts. It'll be there,
okay.
Go on
Arts
Facebook.
in the Park.
Arts in the Park.
Arts in the Park. That's what it is. Yeah, Jen's looking at her notes. She's like, got
She
it.
wrote it down.
At Rob Fleming Park.
There you go.
She is so good. And then also, of course, Young Frankenstein coming up October 20th at the Crichton. And anyone Jen, I was talking to you. You know about Young Frankenstein too, because I know it's like a black and white spin on Mel Brooks. Famous for doing spins on some movies. So Frankenstein is a spin on that, and it's hilarious. Watched it a lot growing up. So of course the Igor makes sense to me, and all the little nuances. And frankly, it's one of those when you watch it when you're older, you get more stuff. So it's so funny how things kind of go over your head when you're a kid. All the little.
Well, this play has it all. It has it all. I mean, Frau Brooker. Woo! All the horses go off every darn time. Every time. It's Carolyn Wong, and she just looks so. I mean, all of the people in this play look like the movie characters. Oh. They really do. We have Michael Martin playing Igor. It's just, oh my God, he looks so much like Filden. So much like him, he does, except for the crazy eyes. But he does a great job.
I cannot wait. I'm going to that one too, and I'm going to bring my son because he needs to know some of the, the classics, if you will. And I listen, I'm all, Young Frankenstein's a classic to me. Darn it,
he needs to be cultured.
He does.
Oh my gosh, going to culture him, all right.
That's hilarious, Mel Brooks cultured. But you're right, he does. Darn it. Okay, so thank you so much, Rick, for coming on. Again,
my pleasure.
Want to tell our listeners, check him out on Facebook. Look on irlonestar.com. He is all over the place, and you can find out all about these events and just efforts that he's taken on in the community and get plugged in because it's some great talent.
That's
and
right.
I really appreciate you coming in. You think you can stick around a minute? Because I thought I'd put you on the spot, play a little game.
Sure. What the heck?
Yeah, he's excited. I could tell. No, y'all stay tuned. We've got more of Grit and Grace coming up next.